Hey, hey, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Take the time out to share this page if you can with some other people so they can enjoy um, our conversation for tonight. We're going to be live, obviously, on Work with the Masters Facebook page and also YouTube as well. Work with the Masters, all one word. You can look at us live on YouTube. I am Dana Wilson. I am your host for this evening. And we have been enjoying conversations for the last 2 weeks or so, just conversations about Sister Locs. Work with the Masters is a collaboration of Sister Locs consultants who have extensive training experience. And we just want to make sure you guys know who we are and have access to us as well. And today, our special guest is Robin Simpson. If you were here on Monday, you already met her, but if you haven't, let me bring her in right now. Hey,
Good evening.
Robin.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing well. I am doing well. Thank you for having me.
Good stuff, Robin. Robin is the director and CEO of Lots of Excellence. And so we're
Mhm.
so happy to have her. Monday, I found out that Robin was a cyclist.
Absolutely.
Who knew? Who knew? That is so cool.
Yes,
And she
yes.
was sharing a little bit about how she was cycling a lot and needed to find a solution for her hair because she still wanted to be cute after she took that helmet off. And so that's how she learned about Sister Lots. But
Yes.
Robin, please elaborate for the people who was not here on Monday about
Okay.
your experience.
Okay. And that is how you've basically summed it up, but I'll give you a little more detail.
Yeah.
I was always a wannabe cyclist. That was my passion. And when I say cycle, bicycle, not
Mhm.
motorcycle, but
Mhm.
bicyclist. And I joined this group of African American women, which was not very common, especially where I am here in Michigan. I joined this group called Sister Cycling.
Wow.
And we started out just doing little small rides, 15 miles, 20 miles, and we stepped our game up to 50. And we did a century ride, the 100 miles. And then we started being invited to other cycling clubs. So the more
Wow.
I cycled, that hair, OMG.
And remind me, how was you wearing your hair? Was it natural?
No, I wasn't. I was still wearing my hair permed at the time.
Okay.
Well, actually, I had started letting it grow out because no matter what I did to it, if I had it braided or whatever, you're sweating in a helmet
Mm.
for hours and hours. You take it off and you have helmet hair for real. And
Wow.
so I was doing my little press and curl thing. By the end of the day, it was horrible. And then I had to get ready to go to work the next day. I had to be at work at 5 a.m.
Okay.
So wasn't a lot of time to figure out what to do with my hair.
And what kind of work was that, Robin?
I was a regulation officer for the Michigan Gaming Control Board.
Okay.
And before that, I was with Treasury. So
Okay.
um, I did a lot of interviews,
Okay.
so I work with a lot of people. I did a lot of background investigations. So it's like that one-on-one thing
Yeah.
with each person. And they're looking at me and my hair is looking like, yeah, we didn't have time to do her hair today. That little ponytail didn't work either. My
Oh
hair was
my.
long.
So obviously you got introduced with Sister Lots and you got your Sister Lots done. How
Yes.
did that change your life with cycling?
Well, it made a big difference
Okay.
because even though I was sweating at the time, I took my helmet off and I still had my little curly things in my hair. It was really cute. Um, I was done at the end of the day. I was like, hey, I'm still cute. I can do
Right.
what I need to do. We would maybe go out to dinner. I didn't have to worry about my hair. Whereas before, I wanted to wear a hat or
Mhm.
something on my head because it looked so terrible. And it was one of the ladies in the club who introduced me to Sister
Oh,
Lots. She didn't have them because she had a scalp condition at the time.
okay.
But
Okay.
she told me about it, and I said, let me check that out. And so that is where I began. I had my consultation, had
Hmm.
my sister locks established, and it took me in a totally different direction.
So, yeah, clearly, because you said
Mhm.
you are, what did you say? What kind of officer?
Regulation officer, yes.
Regulation officer. And now
Uh-huh.
I know you're totally a consultant and trainer. So, how did we get from there to there? How did that happen?
So what happened is after I had my sister locks, they were beautiful.
Hmm.
My consultant at the time decided she needed to take some cosmetology classes.
Okay.
So I had to find someone else. And no, I didn't go to the Sister Lock website. I just found someone who said they did Sister Locks.
Hmm.
And well, I found out later they did something like Sister Locks because my
Oh,
hair began to break off. And this
oh,
was within a matter of months. I had a
oh,
lot of breakage and it just totally changed. I wound up having to cut my hair off because it was just horrible.
no way.
Yes. So then I went to, after that happened, I said, let me find someone else because I loved it. It worked perfectly for what I needed to do.
Hmm.
So I found a sister like consultant who reestablished my hair. And I
Okay.
was asking her a lot of questions about, well, why did this happen? I'm curious. I've never had hair loss. My hair is never broken off. Was it something she was doing? And was it something I was not doing?
Yes.
And so she says, maybe you should take the class. And that's where it started for me. I said, sure. I did a lot of educational classes. I did a lot of training.
Was
When
it that simple, Robert? Because I mean, because clearly hair was not in the.
Well, I only took the class, mind you, I only took the class because I had so many questions and I wanted to know about my hair, not to do anybody else's,
Right.
just my own hair. And so I took the class. It was so funny. After I took that very first class, she encouraged me to do that. And
Okay.
after I took that first class, when I left class on day 4, I
Yes.
said, I probably would have done better driving down I-75 and throwing my money out the window because I didn't get it.
You didn't.
I did not get it. It was like I was not, first of all, I was not a hair person. The only
Right.
thing I knew about doing hair was having a standard 2-week appointment with my hairdresser.
This
That's
is
all I knew about it.
this is too much, Robert. This is too much. You
All
went
I knew about hair.
from cycling with the girls, asking the starting over a
Yes,
set of locks. We don't even know what the name of them really was.
right. Hmm.
And then going in there asking this lady all these questions, and then you take the class.
And she suggested take the class. She answered
That was so
a
cool.
lot, but I guess it was too much for her.
Yeah.
So again, I took the class, didn't get it. And so every time after that, because I didn't want to do hair yet.
Mm-hmm.
Every time there was a refresher class, I took that class.
Great
I,
stuff.
I enrolled the refresher class. Each time I learned something different. I was like, I didn't get that the first time, or I don't remember that. Get out my workbook, no notes. I was like, I kept doing that
Okay.
over. I probably by the time I took my 4th class,
Mm-hmm.
my mentor and soon she became my trainer was Celeste Gary.
Celeste
And
is all that. She is so.
yes,
This lady is all that.
she recognized that I kept taking these classes and we started talking. And
Mm-hmm.
that sort of took me in another direction. She answered questions personally for me that I still wasn't getting in
Oh.
the class. And after that, she asked me to just come and work with them.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, I knew a lot and I wanted to know more.
Got it.
And that's pretty much how I got started.
Mm-hmm.
I managed to get a few of my coworkers to agree to let me do their hair.
Okay. Good stuff.
I said, at least let me try that. I didn't, I figured I wasted my money
Mm-hmm.
on everything except some knowledge. And I did a few of my coworkers' hair, and that just went from one thing to
Right.
another. And
So then you went, how did you end up doing hair full time, Sister Lots full time?
well, not initially.
Okay.
The young lady who encouraged me to take the class,
Hmm.
she asked me, "Well, why don't you come and work with me after?" And I said, "Oh, okay." My schedule was really hectic. I worked 10-hour days, but I had the perfect schedule because I was off on Thursday, Friday, Saturdays. We worked 10-hour days. So I started working with her, started becoming more confident, and I started building up more and more clientele. And I was like, okay, let me see where this is going. But I still work my full-time job because
Right.
I wasn't sure.
Right.
And
So what helped you
after,
make that leap? What was the defining moment that have you take that leap?
well, I went from having mm, maybe 10 of my personal friends and coworkers to allow me to do their hair. Within 6 months, I probably had 25. Then it went to 50. Then it went to, I can't do this
Right.
um, by myself. And I asked my neighbor, just like someone asked me, "Hey, why don't you take that class and come and work with me?" And that's how.
I love to hear these stories because it seemed to happen so organically, right?
Mhm,
I mean,
mhm.
you don't set out for this and
Right,
curiosity killed the cat kind of thing, right?
right.
And it just snowballs,
And
It's like a
so after Dana, after
snowball.
I probably had about 30, 35 clients,
Yes.
I knew that I said, well, I'm going to kind of take a break from my job. I'm going to take a leave of absence before
Okay.
I quit.
Yes.
And I know that I had a job and I was in a position that I could come back at any time. Just
Okay.
like whenever you're ready, you can come back. So I said, well, hey, let me just step out on faith. I think I can do this. I had a couple of dollars set aside
Hmm.
so that I could pay my bills. And after I did that, I never looked back.
Wow. That is
I
amazing.
never looked back.
That's amazing and a blessing. So
Yes.
how did we get into the training business?
Okay, so I kept working with Celeste and
Mhm.
talking to her, and um she was always encouraging me to, keep taking the classes and do a lot of tweak some of the things. Of course, we won't go there with how my first couple of heads looked.
Right. Right.
So, she helped me out with that, and she started encouraging me. She says, "You are definitely a people person. You like to talk.
Mhm.
Um, and you're compassionate about what you're doing." And
Mhm.
that is how I started. And when I got ready, she obviously was made a recommendation
Okay.
um, that I be considered
Mhm.
as a trainer, and that's how it started with me.
So what had you touch, move, and inspire to continue in this work? I mean, because I mean, obviously, I know it happened organically, but there's
Mhm,
something in there that's continue to have you do more heads or add more people into your team, and obviously
mhm.
doing the training as well. What is that core thing that had you touch, move, inspire about Sister Lots?
Okay, so I look back to my beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and when I initially got Sister Locks, they weren't that common. I originally got my initial set of Sister Locks in, I believe it was 2004,
Okay.
and there were not a lot of people with it. And I liked it, I thought it was beautiful. But when I began to lose my hair and I didn't understand why,
Mm-hmm.
that was that little thing that says, hey, I don't want anyone else to experience what I
Got it.
experienced.
Got it.
So let me help you avoid doing or having to go through what I went through.
Well, let me ask you this real quick, Robert,
Mhm,
before you go on. And
mhm,
just because you know that that's my little passion piece is that hair loss. So I'm
mhm.
kind of interested now on what do you know now about what happened with that first set of locks that caused the hair loss?
Okay,
Okay.
good question. And it took a while for it to click. Like I said, my mentor Celeste, she was there, and I kept picking her and picking her. It was like, I lost my hair. my locks started falling out.
Yes.
Well, what I found, and through working with others, it was too much snipping, with the hair. I wasn't separating my hair, but
Okay.
I didn't know. I,
Okay.
I I missed that somewhere. So I didn't separate my hair after I shampooed. Did I band and braid? Sometimes. Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. So when I went to the consultant, she was always cutting, cutting, cutting.
Oh.
And that excessive cutting ultimately started to damage the locks.
Oh, that's a I mean, well, it's not good because that
Mhm.
happened, but it's good
Right.
for hopefully whoever's watching, if there's some clients out there.
Yes.
You want to be mindful what your consultant is doing, right?
Right.
That
And
is
so as I continue to have my hair retightened, every time the consultant would pick up a pair of scissors, I'd be like, "What are
yeah.
you doing? What are you doing?"
That's right. That's right.
So, and she would tell me, it was so funny. She would say, "I'm cutting through that hair you failed to separate." And I was like, "Oh." She would wet it, she was kind of spritz it and pull it. If she couldn't get it, she
Mm-hmm.
snipped it. I was like, not the scissors. So that made me more mindful about that. And so that's why I'm
Hmm.
so passionate about um, making sure that clients understand
Yes.
there's care involved in wearing sister locks.
That's so cool. I'm sorry I had interrupted
Hmm.
your flow of how you what keeps you touch, move, and inspired to continue on with Sister Lots. Um,
Hmm.
I had interrupted your flow because I
Oh,
need to
that's
know about this. I need to know about this hair loss situation.
right. So it wasn't like I was actually losing hair because of something going on
Right.
physically or whatever for me. No, it was the process
Got it.
that was taking place. And I'm sure later on, she was new. She probably learned that excessive cutting
Mhm.
was not the best thing to do.
And that's what consultants will learn with continued education.
Hmm.
Being coached and mentored, you will learn the effects of some of the things that you're doing, because you might be doing something like today and thinking
Hmm.
it's just getting you through today or this session, this retightening with your client, not knowing the impact later on, right?
Right.
And that's why you need a coach or a mentor to kind of walk you through that kind of thing.
Right, and another sidebar, but it's related to the snipping.
Mm-hmm.
When, after maybe a month well, a couple of months, I should say, and my hair started kind of breaking.
Yes.
So she says, "Well, maybe I need to groom your hair because you're," and I kept saying, "I'm starting to lose locks. Why am I doing that?" And she
Yeah.
said, "Well, maybe I need to groom it." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
So she started grooming, but then again, that is something that
Yeah.
when you consider grooming, you really have to know
What
what
you're
you're
doing.
doing when you do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. Yeah, this is definitely a story of, well, you know what?
Mhm.
Your story, Robin, is common to some stories, right?
Yes.
When clients become consultants and they
Mhm.
come sit in that classroom and then they start playing back their experience. And
Mhm.
I always tell them, don't get mad.
Right.
Just do a great service to your clients now, right? Play that
Mhm.
back. Now be the best consultant you can possibly be for your clients.
Right, right.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So
Okay.
that was my inspiration to keep growing and learning more. There's always something. Every person I pretty much came in contact with, I
Yeah.
learned something from them.
That's good stuff. That's
You
good.
know, I
That's,
learned from them and I was hoping that they would learn from me. I tell them my story about not separating my hair,
oh yeah.
not banding it properly,
Hmm.
still riding my bike, and with that helmet, my hair would mat because I let it dry. I didn't know that I was supposed to separate it
Wow.
afterwards.
Wow. Wow. So what do you enjoy about coaching and mentorship?
I
And
mean, my one of the things I love the most is the consultation.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you why. It all starts there.
Yes.
And my rough beginning, I think about that and I said, well, let me explain to a potential sister lock wearer what can happen if you don't do this. It's
Right.
not just a hairstyle,
Hmm.
it's a lifestyle. It comes with other things, knowing why you actually want it. Like I wanted it so I can cycle, but that's all. I didn't care about anything else. That's all. I just wanted my hair to look good afterwards.
Yeah.
Knowing the price you have to pay, not not monetarily,
Right.
but figuratively, the price you pay when you don't do what you should do to maintain your locks. Those are key things. Why do
Mhm.
you want them? What do you plan to do? Are you one like I was? The only
Mhm.
thing I knew about hair was going to see my consultant. I mean, not my consultant, going to see my hairdresser every 2 weeks. I sat in that chair. I didn't have to do anything else.
Wow. Wow. You just went every 2 weeks and trusted whatever she was doing.
Right. And
Yeah.
and so education is key,
Mhm.
I believe in giving you as much information in the beginning so that you can make an informed decision and know that you're going to have to do more than just look good in your sister life.
Go ahead. That is so perfect. They really do need to know that at the
Yes.
consultation. So,
So, and it all to me, that is the beginning.
mhm.
That is truly the key.
Yeah.
Educating them, knowing in the beginning, hey, these are there's it's gonna come, you're gonna have to do some things. You're not just gonna run your fingers through your hair and say, oh, okay, I'm cute. A little more you have to do. And
Absolutely. Absolutely.
knowing that a lot of people don't know that.
Yes.
Like I didn't know. No one told me I needed to separate my hair. When I got off that bike and my hair was drenched, that I'm just like,
Oh,
still
so
looks good to me.
it was really clipping because you probably was matting and everything
It
else.
was matted, wearing a helmet. I'm tired. I go home and, at the end of the day, I'm like, I have sister locks. I don't have to do anything to my hair. Go to bed, my hair just mat.
Lord,
And then,
that is so you have a bunch of folks saying hi to you, Robin. You got
okay.
Monica saying hi, Jessica's laughing out there.
Hello.
Of course, Rosalie.
Hmm.
And we've and Patricia Bonner, she's have joined us every night. So thank you so much
Okay.
for doing that, Patricia. We appreciate it. And
Awesome.
Rosalie is agreeing that Celeste is a bag of chips. She is all that.
Yes, she is. I would not have made it without Celeste. I'm confident. She was right there. She held my hand.
Hmm.
And, she just, all those questions that I had, she, with her so sweet personality, would just answer them
Yeah,
like,
that's
oh, well. And I would tell her what I did. Or she look at my work as like, oh my,
you sound just like her. I've heard that one.
oh my. So yes,
So
yeah.
good stuff. So it definitely sounds like you are the consultation queen. I could totally hear that because of your experience. I could totally get that for your clients. Obviously, that is an asset, and then also for consultants. I mean, for
Yes.
coaching, you want to get coached around that consultation. Obviously, you want educated clients.
Yes, yes. You
Educated,
have to educate the clients, and it starts in the beginning,
yeah,
not just when they're sitting in your chair. Of course, it's a continual education
right.
thing. However, before you establish lock one, including that sample lock, before you establish that lock, that client needs to know, or potential client needs to know what to expect.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Monica says, "What are your thoughts on pre-education?" So, what kind of, I guess, what's your thoughts about pre-education? I'm assuming she's talking about what you would provide that individual before they even come in.
And generally, what pre-education, the
Hmm.
very first thing, once a person calls me and say, hey, I'm interested in sister locks, the first thing I do is I send them to the website.
Right.
And, I was like, okay, how did you hear about it? And so they'll
Hmm.
say, oh, my coworker, friend, whomever has sister locks. I send them to the Sister Lock website because I know once they go there and they start to peruse, look around that website, it's going
Mhm.
to generate some more questions.
Good
So
stuff.
when they come to me, I want them to already have some questions,
Mhm.
um, so that we can address them because a lot of those things they didn't think about. So
Right.
when they ask me questions, I can pretty much tell whether or not they've been to the website by
That's
the
good.
questions that they ask. And so that helps me get the ball rolling,
Mhm.
find out how dedicated they are
That's good stuff.
to to the lifestyle and not
Mhm.
just the hairstyle.
Right. Good stuff.
So,
Robin, it's been a pleasure, Robin.
well, it's been my pleasure sharing my story.
No. Robin, I always end with I want to learn something cool or fun fact about you.
Oh,
So we already know the cycling, which was really cool because I did not know that about
okay.
you.
So this is the thing. That fun fact, cycling was what got me here
Yeah.
because I needed to do something with my hair. But
Yeah.
the ironic part about that is I haven't had time to cycle.
Now you've been doing hair. Once you got Sister Locks, it's over.
It's like it's over. I don't have time. I get some in, but not where I thought I would be. So that's kind of, I tell
That is
people,
kind of cool.
especially my cycling sisters who still cycle, we laugh and talk about those things. And I'm like, I can't do it anymore. And that was the reason why I initially got Sister
Oh, that
Locks.
is funny. I'm riding a tandem bike right now, so I'm doing a coordinated thing. It's kind of
Really?
yes,
Okay. Yeah.
yes, that's kind of cool.
I still have several bikes, even though I don't get to ride them. I have a Peloton. I'm still the bike girl. I
Oh,
just don't.
have
Sister
time.
Locks have become my true life.
That's so funny. So everybody's laughing. Monica's laughing and Jessica's laughing.
Right. Yep. So,
All right. Well, thank you so much, Robin, and thank you everybody who has joined us. We so appreciate you guys participating and showing up and being with us, and sharing in these Sister Lock stories. It's been great, and each one has been totally different. And so,
mhm.
please make sure to like our page and follow our page on Instagram. Go to our website, workwiththemasters.com. Continue to follow us as we share more information and more things about what we're up to. So have a good
Right.
evening, everybody.
Good
Thank
night.
you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you,
All
everyone.
right. Bye bye.
Hello.